Hi everyone, my name is Justin Lake from Think Numbers, and today we're actually going to be calculating the debtors days ratio, also known as the accounts receivable days ratio. Now what I've actually done is I've gone to the Woolworths website. Now you can actually do that by going into their website, Woolworths annual, and downloading their annual report for 2017. So I've actually downloaded this and I'm looking at their consolidated profit and loss statement and their consolidated statement of financial position or balance sheet. What we're actually going to do is we're actually going to calculate the debtor days ratio. Now there are two components to actually working out this ratio. There's first of all the debtors turnover ratio. Now what that actually is your sales divided by your average trade debtors or trade and other debtors. And that equals your debtors turnover ratio. If you then want to work out the actual number of days, you need to take 365 and divide that by your debtors turnover. Another way to actually write that is if we actually, now that will actually be your, sorry, let's write what that is, debtors days ratio. Another way to write this is to start with your average trade debtors, divide that by your sales, and times that by 365. It's the same thing. Debtor days ratio. And what it actually tells you is how quickly are we actually collecting the cash from our customers' accounts. So every time we invoice a customer and send out the invoices and the statements, and our credit department actually then tries to follow up the invoices to get payment, how quickly is this actually turning over? And this is a really important component of working capital. So let's work this out. What you need to do is go into your profit and loss statement. Here is Woolworths profit and loss statement. And what you then need to look at is you can look at the total operating revenue, and that will include everything that's been billed to customers. Now, we're not going to include other revenue because that's actually below the line. We're just going to be looking at operating revenue. So in this case, let's actually calculate that. So we're going to take, for the current year, which is the 2017 annual report, 55,668.6. And we're actually going to divide that by our average trade debtors. Now, trade debtors is trade and other receivables. And so we're going to take the average of across the 2 years. So we're going to take the current year of 744.7 million. And we're going to add 763.9. And we're going to divide that by 2. And that will end up being our debtors turnover. So let's work out what that is. So we've got 55,668.6 and divide, let's work out the average, what that's going to be. So if we grab your calculator up, 744.7 plus 763.9, divide that by 2 is 754.3. And then if we then take our 55,668.6, divide that by 754.3, you get 73.8. And that's times. So it's not days, it's times. So that's, we turn over all of our customer collections 73, almost 74 times per year. So if we take 365 and divide that by 73.8, this will tell you how many days. 365 divided by 73.8 is 4.95 days. Yes, that's correct. 4.95 days. So almost every 5 days, they are collecting all of the revenue in cash from their customers. And now another way to, that's extremely good. Most organizations are not able to collect money so quickly. And if you understand it, Woolworths is actually one of the major supermarket chains within Australia. And so you can understand people are actually, majority of their customers are paying for their groceries when they actually go to the register as soon as they go into the shop. So that's why their ratio is so low. Now they'll have other customers who are maybe larger customers who are also paying for some of the goods on account, but majority of them are going to be everyday consumers. Now let's work out the other way of calculating this. So if we then started with the average 754.3 and divide that now by our sales number of 55 668.6. Whoop. And then times that by 365. You get exactly the same number, 4.95 days. So there's two different ways you can calculate that. So again, let's just recap. Our debtors days is the actual number of days that we actually collect all the cash from our customers. But you first need to work out your debtors turnover, and that is actually a ratio of how many times we're actually turning over the entire balance, which we then convert it into a debtors days ratio. All right, I really hope you've enjoyed this lesson on today, and feel free to subscribe to my channel. There's plenty of other videos on heaps of other topics on accounting.